Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. I hope you have had an awesome Christmas. Christmas was just a few days ago here, and oh my goodness, I had an amazing Christmas. My family and friends were so generous this year, and I'm actually shooting on my new Christmas present. My husband bought me the Canon EOS 80D. I had been previously shooting on my cell phone, my just little smartphone here, and now I get to film on this like super professional camera, and I absolutely love it. I've been playing around with it, trying to learn all the different features on it, and there is a ton. This machine is so powerful. I'm actually connected to the machine right now, and it's on my phone. Look, there's me on my phone, like looking at me. I'm just like mind blown. Anyways, thank you to my husband who got me that. It actually was like a whole creator content package, and so it came with a microphone, like a really nice Rode mic, a tripod. He gave me a tripod. It's an amazing setup, and so this is awesome. So I was really happy with that. Thanks, babe. And then my family and friends, again, they just kind of spoiled me rotten with some other things this year, but I'm super excited about it. I cannot believe that Christmas is over and like come and gone. I just feel like in my head it's still September. I don't know what month you guys feel like it is, but to me it just feels like it should be September, and it's almost the new year. So speaking of the new year, if you saw my little thumbnail here, I am wanting to do a New Year's look. I don't usually get like super glammed up or anything like that, but I really wanted to try like a New Year's just glam look. I know a lot of you guys go out and do something special with your friends and celebrate. I personally will probably be in bed at midnight. Maybe not. I'm kind of a night owl, but I don't usually go out anywhere. But I wanted to go ahead and just do like a really cool, maybe like a smoky, glittery type of a look. I'm going to play around maybe with some bronze colors, maybe some gold glitter, of course gold. And then I might even do a little bit like a smoky black in there. I am kind of thinking in my head of like a roaring 20s, you know, because it's 2020, Great Gatsby kind of themed thing. And so I actually have this little sequin and black shirt that kind of reminds me of like the Great Gatsby kind of time. So roaring 20s. So if you're interested in capturing this look for your night out, stay tuned and I'll be right back. So I've clipped my hair back and I have zoomed in a little bit so you guys can follow along. And I've got my handy dandy bronze mirror. This is a lot of metallic going on, by the way. I mean, there is like sequins behind me. There's gold and bronze on this. There's copper. There's my shirt. It's a lot of sequins, but I like it. All right, so I have gone ahead and just prepped my skin with moisturizer, and I'm going to go ahead and now start to prime with my current favorite, which is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. Ooh, look at that autofocus. Go to work. Okay. I like this camera. It's nice. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my skin. I love this primer. It is really nice. It just helps fill in all the cracks. And I've tried others and I just kind of feel like they always still settle in my fine lines, and I hate that. I don't know. This is the only one that seems like thick enough, almost like a mousse, just to really get in there and kind of fill them in instead of just creasing and just sitting in there. So all right, so if you're going out on the town, you're going to want your makeup to stay in place, of course. So I am breaking out the Estee Lauder Double Wear. This is in the shade 1N1 since I am very pale. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And of course I'm grabbing my Beauty Blender, which is my current favorite. Although, okay, I know I said I was like really against like brushes generally in the past. And I wouldn't say against brushes, but my favorite has always been to use a Beauty Blender. However, I used a brush the other day and I was actually really impressed with the coverage that it gave me. So I might be kind of eating my words a little bit. I don't know. I had some success with it. So I'm just gonna lay down like a nice kind of start thin. This is a kind of a thicker foundation anyway. I'm just having it in the back of my hand here. It's kind of a thicker foundation anyways, which I really love. I do love a full coverage. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I kind of feel like I sometimes put it on too thick and then it tends to kind of collect again in any fine lines or whatever. So I've been kind of trying to use less, you know, make it stretch out a little bit more and then kind of build up only in the spots that I need it. So I'm trying to be better about not using so much product. All right, so I've just kind of laid down like a nice solid foundation, and I just put a little bit of extra, in the places that I needed it. And now I'm returning my Beauty Blender to its little egg holder, which is super cute. I'll put the link in the description below if you guys want one from Amazon. They're super cute. So now it's time to conceal, and I am of course using my favorite Tarte Shape Tape, which is available from Tarte.com, and I think at Ulta. I don't think Sephora still sells it yet, which makes me sad because I'm a self-admitted Sephora snob. So I do wipe kind of quite a bit off. You don't need a whole huge glob, especially if you've got like fine lines and kind of little eye wrinkles and expression lines underneath your eyes. You don't really want to go with like a huge old glob. I'm just doing like a little bit of concealer, just little dots here. And then I am going to go ahead and contour a little bit today, and also I'll use the Tarte Shape Tape as my highlight shade, and then I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills cream contour kit for my contour. So I'm just going to do the highlight first. Now that that's in, I will take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. Mine is quite well used and loved, as you can see, but I am going to go in with the shades Java and Light Sculpt, and I'm just going to kind of take these with a little flat brush. This one's from Sephora. I think it's Sephora Collection brush, and just kind of give myself a little bit of color, maybe not a huge contour, but just a little bit, just to kind of add something to the cheeks and maybe make my face not so much shaped like an egg. That might be nice. So I'm trying not to block the camera. This is like incredibly hard not to be like just hold it up right in front of the camera. I gotta like remember to lower it and keep it down so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm mostly using Light Sculpt just because I am so fair. I don't really want to darken up too much, but I do want to give my face a little bit of warmth. I'm going to kind of chisel down the nose just a little bit. I am using probably too big of a brush for this, if I'm honest, but I'm so lazy when it comes to brushes. Not wanting to like dirty another brush. I'm going to put that back, and then I'm just going to kind of blend it all out with, you can use a Beauty Blender, or I'm just using a flat top brush here to kind of gently sort of buff it out and get it pretty smooth. And as with anything, the key for it to look natural is to blend, blend, blend. So you definitely want to make sure you are blending everything in. And if it's not looking natural, keep going, keep blending. So now I'm going to set with a powder, and I'm going to use the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. It looks like this, and it is one of my favorites. I do love it a lot. I just tap a little bit out in the lid, and then I will take probably a brush today. I'm just using a Sephora brush to dip in, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to just kind of gently pat around the areas that I have highlighted. So underneath the eyes, certainly, but not over the eyes. Don't do it over the eyes because you don't really want to set that. I want it to be a little bit tacky for when I actually apply my powder, my eyeshadow powder. I don't want it to kind of take away the tackiness of that, so don't set it on top there. And then I'm going to of course, go ahead and set my forehead and anywhere else that I have highlighted, like my chin, above my lip, and then kind of the center of the nose. For the rest of my face, I am going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in the shade 2. It just looks like that. It's a little compact, and it is slightly darker than my skin, maybe just to kind of give it a little bit of warmth. But it is something that I like to kind of use all over a little bit to give myself like a nice airbrushed kind of a finish. And then I'm going to just go in and set the contour a little bit deeper with a different shade of, actually a powder contour. So this just makes everything kind of blurred out a little bit and look really pretty. If you're got a lot of lines and expression lines and things, you may not want to use a whole lot of powder, but this one is pretty good about being thin enough to not sort of settle in the cracks too badly. I talk about my cracks a lot on camera. So now I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills powder bronzer in the shade Cappuccino, and it's a cute little color. I like it, and I am going to just actually do this with more of a tapered brush. This is just one that I got from Ulta. It's kind of just a regular kind of fluffy brush. And I don't want to do too much here. I just want to kind of redefine some of those areas that I sort of took away maybe with other powders, and just kind of set the contour a little bit more and blend all of that out. Now I will do a blush, and again, I am stuck on an Anastasia kick. I do love her stuff. This is the Anastasia Blush Trio in the shade Pool Party, and so I'm just gonna go with, you know, I might actually go with a peachier color this time. This one actually is called Cash. And tap off the excess. I think I need to bring a little bit of rosiness to my cheeks, or else I would have done that darker shade, but I'm going to go ahead and just do some right here in the center of my face. I kind of do like that really like rosy apple cheeked kind of look. Sometimes I will do more like a streak, you know, and kind of blend it, and I will do a little bit kind of dusting the cheekbones too, but I do like to kind of also just kind of keep it in the center as well. And now it's time for our highlighter, and my favorite right now, and maybe of all time so far, I don't know, it's been my favorite for a while, is the Becca. It's just Champagne Pop, the Shimmering Skin Perfector, and it looks like this, and it is the color Champagne Pop. This is just what made her famous, I think, when Jaclyn did the collaboration with Becca. That was a really big deal for them, so I'm going to dip into that, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the cheekbone, and I probably will go a little bit more intense with the highlight just because it is New Year's and we're going for a harder, kind of a more glam look. But so I'm just going to highlight the tops of the cheekbones, and then of course I do like to do right above the Cupid's bow, as long as it doesn't look like a sweaty upper lip. That is never good. I do the center of the nose, and I will do right above the brows just to kind of give it a little shimmer. Now onto brows, and I'm switching it up today. I'm not using an Anastasia product. I am using a Benefit Precisely My Brow product, and it looks like that. Oh yeah, it's really like thin. There we go. It looks like that, and it is really cool. It's of course got your product in one end and then a spoolie in the other end. Just gonna kind of do a more bold brow maybe this time around so that it shows up pretty well. Now that they're filled in, I am going to go ahead and set them with, oh look, Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Can't get away with it. This look is not sponsored by Anastasia, but I wish it were. Now is the fun part. So now is the eyes and eyeshadow. I've got a few palettes here with me, and I'm going to kind of experiment. I really wanted to do sort of like that, like I said, coppery, like really glitter moment with like maybe some smoky gray or like maybe black in there. So I'm going to see what I can come up with, and I am playing with the Tati Beauty palette. And I drag out an old one, but a good one, which is the Too Faced Everything Nice palette. And so this one is from 2014, and it's got some pretty kind of cool colors in it. I've used this over the last few years, but it's got one in particular, one shade that I really like, which is called Honey Pot, and this one is kind of a really cool shade. It's just very like kind of gold and glowy. And then I do have the Jaclyn Hill palette as well, just for some really solid neutrals. Jaclyn does really well with neutrals. I love her palette. So I always play with like a lot of these neutral shades, and even some of these down here. So just I sort of live up in this area. So I will probably do some of hers too. So I think what I want to do today is actually like a half cut crease. And so if you guys have seen a cut crease look before, they can be really cool looking, and I've not really done a tutorial on one just yet, so I might kind of throw a little half tutorial in here. I won't do a full cut crease, but I probably will do like a little half one, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. And it's a little bit more blended out and subtle. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start with Jaclyn Hill's palette and take one of those neutrals like I talked about, just something really neutral like one of these, and this is called Silk Cream and then MFEO. And so one of these two kind of shades I will start with and just lay down something that's kind of neutral and in the brow bone area, and then maybe just a little bit in the outer corner. I actually think I might zoom you guys in just a bit. I'm just going to kind of continue putting on like a neutral little color here, a neutral base. And again, I'm just using Silk Cream and MFEO just to get something down that's fairly neutral. And for the cut crease, it's kind of important that you actually take the color all the way into here, because when you end up doing that crease and carving it out, you don't really see like much of a contrast if you don't have something up here. So I will do that, and I'll kind of take it up a little bit almost to the brow bone as well. So for the copper tone, I kind of want in here, I'm going to use Tati's color called Ritual, and it's one of these colors here. This maybe this one, or maybe even some brown, just to kind of play around with some of that. So I'm gonna try that out. So I am liking this like really coppery shade. That's really pretty. So I think I'm gonna do that. And again, just kind of blend, blend, blend. Bring it forward a little bit into the inner eye. And then I am using this, and I am using the metallic shade for Tati's, from Tati's Color Story. So I'm just getting a tiny bit. I don't really want to do too much just yet, but I really just want to kind of keep this in the crease and just kind of keep it right here and blend it out a little bit. And then I'm gonna kind of just bring it over a touch into the inner corner. And this is one of those shades that, like, if you're not careful, you can look like a raccoon, or like that Bucky Barnes picture. So you don't want that. I am just kind of continuing to put it on the center here, just kind of drag it in a little bit so that we can get the half cut crease sort of feel to it. All right, so now that it is kind of done, and I kind of trying to blend, it's not blending as much as I'd hoped. I hadn't played with this before. I kind of wanted to see how it did, but it's all right. It looks all right. I'm going to go ahead and use a different brush now. This is a Morphe JH41 from Jaclyn Hill, and I'm going to do the actual cut crease portion, which requires our concealer. So take your concealer back out, and you're just going to pick up a little bit of kind of concealer on your brush. And this is kind of the fun part, I would say. It does kind of transform the look. And so what you're going to do is, for a cut crease, you want to just start carving yourself out a crease with the brush, and you can do anywhere that you'd want, just kind of like up in there. The full cut crease, of course, would go the full way. I'm going to kind of stop halfway through and just do kind of like a half, 3/4. So just kind of start patting this on and drawing yourself a new crease. And don't worry, it will look better from here. So don't you worry, it looks better. So just sort of pat it in there, and then when you get to this area, you can kind of stop a little bit. If you're doing like a 3/4, you can kind of stop there. I know it looks scary, but it won't be in a minute, I promise. I do kind of use my fingers just to kind of like blend it out just a bit and make it look a little bit more natural. Ooh, there's glitter everywhere already from this palette. This palette just sheds glitter. Okay, so again, just kind of carve that out. I'm gonna go up a little bit higher on the crease. More into my actual natural crease is what I'm doing. And a smaller brush actually would work better, especially if you've got any kind of eye wrinkles for this one. All right, so I'm gonna put that down there. Gonna smooth that out. And now I will go back in with the shade that I want to lay down on underneath the glitter, and that was from my Too Faced Everything Nice palette, and that was the Honey Pot, that kind of gold color, because I do want that gold to kind of come through. So I'm going to pick up Honey Pot and lay that where I had just had this really stark foundation, or concealer. So whereas I had like that really stark concealer, I am going back in with the shade Honey Pot. So I'm just gonna stick that in there, and then it'll be time to kind of blend our line a little bit out and make sure it doesn't look as crazy as it does now. So I'm gonna take just one of my neutral shades back from the Tati palette, and then just kind of start blending that line back in. Kind of start making that line look a little bit more natural and not so stark. Okay, now it's time for the glitter, and so I'm just using a little bit of a glitter glue, and I'm just going to take that glitter glue with a little tiny brush and just pat it on the areas that I did the cut crease. And so I'm just wanting to just kind of place that glitter right on the lid, right up into the point where we started blending it into the black. And so that way the glitter can stick a lot easier. So I'm going to use Tati's glitter palette in the shade Soothe, and it's this like middle one here, that nice gold kind of chunky glitter, and just start patting it in and glitting glitter everywhere. This is good stuff though, I love this glitter. And I'll do the other eye real quickly. Unfortunately, the glitter from this palette does tend to get like everywhere. So unfortunately, it's sort of like all over my nose and cheeks and forehead. But you know, hey, we said this was a glam look, and right? I'm gonna go ahead and move on now to doing the rest of my eyes, which is just putting like a little bit of that smoky look underneath. I'm gonna kind of drag it down using a smaller brush and kind of continuing down that black. And then I will actually take one of the more neutral shades that I was using before and just kind of go right underneath that so that it's not just the black, but it's also carrying down that neutral shade as well. Just a highlight, a little bit of a highlight in the brow bone, and then in the inner corners I've got kind of some glitter there that I'm really wanting to kind of put this over. So now it's time for eyeliner, and I'm using the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner. Looks like that. I do love Stila. Time for lashes. So I am using a velour lash set that I had bought a while ago, and I've used them once. You can actually use these a couple times over. And the thing I love about this kit is that they are really nice. They're just like really thick and kind of just luxurious feeling. So I've got lashes on, and I'm just going to use the Tarte Man-Eater mascara over this. I just picked this up actually over Black Friday at Ulta, and I think this is like a really nice mascara. And one of the last things I'll do for the eyes is just to put a little bit of a kohl pencil into the waterline, just to kind of bolden it up and give it a little bit of a darker look. Now the eyes are done, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys back out and do lips. Because I've done such a bold eye, I want to do a little bit more of a neutral lip. So I'm just going to take a nude lip pencil from Revlon Color Stay. This is just in the color Natural. And I will go ahead and line my lips, and then I'm going to use a lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury. I've really started liking the Charlotte Tilbury line as well. I didn't used to use a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products. I probably shouldn't like line while I'm talking, huh? Okay, now I can talk. So now I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick shade called Pillow Talk. This is one of their most popular, I think, best-selling shades. And again, it's just like such a pretty neutral. It gives a little bit of color without going too overboard, and allows you to do like a really, just a heavier look on the eyes and kind of not have to worry about going so heavy on the lips. And it smells so good too. It is such a pretty smell. Okay, and then I'm going to just set everything off, and I want my makeup to, of course, last all night. So I am going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter spray. This is just like a little mini one, but I do love this brand, and I do love this particular kind. So I'm going to go ahead and spray and use my little cat fan to set it, of course. Just a few sprays there. Whoop. Hair goes down, your most ostentatious pair of dangly earrings goes in for the new year. I love these. My sister got me these for Christmas. I think they're so cute. They're these little like geometric shaped, they're super long dangly earrings, and I love them. And so I'm gonna pop these in, and then we'll be ready for our final look. Ta-da! And this is it. This is just the final look for New Year's 2020. Again, you could go a little bit darker if you like darker. You could go even smokier than this. You could also go lighter if you liked a lighter look. But this is the final product. now it's time to ring in the new year and pop some bubbly, of course. Hope you guys have a fantastic new year. Be safe out there, and I will see you guys in 2020. Don't worry, Mom, this is just sparkling cider. Bye, guys.